Hi everyone, I hope that you all are good and fine. So in today's session, we will see area and perimeter introduction part. Okay, so here first I would like to explain you the meaning of perimeter and area, students. Okay, when we are finding out the perimeter, then which portion are we getting, and when we are finding out the area, then which portion are we getting. So for this, let us consider one figure. Suppose this is rectangle, students. Let us consider this rectangle. Okay, so we know that this is a rectangle. So whenever we are finding out the perimeter of this rectangle, then we are getting its only outer boundaries, students. See, this is the perimeter of the rectangle. If we are moving, suppose we are starting from this point, okay, and we are moving across its boundary from initial point and reaching again at that point only, then we are finding out, or you can say this is the perimeter of rectangle. Okay, means what you have to understand basically, students, that perimeter is nothing but outer boundary of that bounded figure. Let the figure be any one. Here we have considered a rectangle. It may be triangle, it may be a square, it may be any figure. Okay, so let the figure be any polygon, but you have to keep it in your mind that whenever you are finding out the perimeter, then you are getting the outer boundary of that figure. Okay, so here this is, suppose we are having this triangle under our consideration. Okay, so when we will find out the perimeter of this triangle, then we will get this portion of this triangle, this outer portion only. This is known as perimeter of the triangle. This is known as perimeter of the triangle. Okay, similarly, as I told you, let the figure be anyone. Just you have to understand that perimeter means you will get only its outer boundaries. Okay, now moving to next topic, students, that is area. Okay, when we are finding out the area, students, then we are getting the inner portion of that enclosed figure. Like suppose here our considered figure is rectangle. Okay, so when we are calculating the figure, or when we are calculating the area of the rectangle, then here we are getting this portion as our area. This is our area. Okay, when you are calculating the area, students, then you are getting its inner portion, that is this portion. Okay, and when you are calculating its perimeter, then you are getting the outer border of the figure. Okay, similarly, if you are going to calculate the area of this triangle, then you are getting this portion, students. Okay, now suppose best example we can consider the room inside where you are standing, or I am standing here. Okay, so when are we getting, suppose the room, your room is in the form of rectangle or a square. So when you are going to find out the room perimeter of your room, then you will get its outer boundaries only. See, that is the boundaries or the portion which are just adjacent to your wall. Okay, so that border you will get of your room when you are finding out the perimeter. And when you are calculating the area of your room, then you will get the portion where you are sitting or you are standing. Like I am standing, so this is the area of my room. I have kept my mobile here, the stand where the stand is kept, where the table is kept, or where the bed is kept. This portion is known as area. So I hope you understood the meaning of area and perimeter. Now one by one we will see the topics of your this chapter, students, and then we will solve it, and then we will discuss over it. I will explain you. Okay, the very first topic here is, students, squares and rectangles. So I will draw the figure of rectangle and a square, and I will explain you, students. See, this is nothing but a square. We know that in case of a square we are having all its sides as equal. Okay, so this is a square and this is rectangle. Now we are having different formulas, students, that you have to memorize before solving the numericals of this exercise, because without memorizing the formulas you cannot solve a single problem, a single numerical of this exercise. Okay, like suppose, just see here, perimeter of rectangle is given as 2 into L plus B. Here L is nothing but length of the rectangle and B is nothing but breadth of the rectangle. Okay, so here whatever length and breadth is given, just you have to put here the value and then you have to do the calculation, you will get the perimeter of that rectangle. Okay, similarly here if we have to find out the area, then we are finding out L into B. How we are finding out the area? That is formula we are having L into B, that is length into breadth. Suppose here length is given as A and breadth is given B of this rectangle. So how much will be its area, students? So its area will be equal to A into B, or you can say simply AB. What will be the area of this rectangle? It will be AB. Okay, so these formulas are there that you have to keep it in your mind. And about rectangle, students, see, its opposite sides are equal. This side, these sides will be equal, similarly these sides will be equal. Okay, and length is always considered as longest side of the rectangle. ओके, लेंथ मतलब लंबाई होता है और ये हमेशा लंबा, जो भी साइड लंबा होगा उसे हम लंबाई कहेंगे या लेंथ कहेंगे. दैट इज आवर कॉमन सेंस. ओके, नाउ हियर वी आर हैविंग द नेक्स्ट फिगर, स्क्वायर्स. So what are squares? In case of a square, see, this is also a polygon, this is also a polygon. Okay, this is a polygon, quadrilateral polygon. What is this? Quadrilaterals. Okay, quad means 4 students and lateral means sides. So these are the quadrilaterals, you can say, okay, which are having 4 sides but having different features. Okay, like here the opposite sides are equal, and here what happens in case of a square? Here all the sides of the square are equal. Okay, like suppose if this is A, this one will also be A, this one also will be A, and this one also will be A. Okay, and some more different properties, different characteristics are there that you will came to know in your higher study. If I will explain you here only, then you will get confused. So here you have to understand only this much. Okay, and here perimeter of this square is found out as 4 into side. Here somewhere you will find A also, somewhere you will find L also. So what is A there? Length of the side of a square. Okay, now similarly here area of the square is calculated as side square, that is equal to side into side, or you can say A square or L square or A into A or L into A, L. Okay, these are the different forms where different parameters are used. You need not to get confused, just you have to keep it in your mind that area of a square is found out by the formula side into side, or you can say side square. Similarly, perimeter of a square is found out by the formula 4 into side, means length of any one side when multiplied by 4, then we are getting the perimeter of that square. So I hope you understood it, students. Now next topic we are having as area of parallelogram. Okay, so first I would like to draw the figure of parallelogram, students. I will show you what are parallelogram and then I will discuss with you about the area of parallelogram. Now here this is the figure of parallelogram, students. Okay, this is the figure of parallelogram. This is parallelogram, and in short form parallelogram is written like this. Okay, now what is the area of parallelogram? We know that when we will calculate the area of parallelogram, then we will get this portion, inner portion, है ना, right? This inner portion, ठीक है. Now area of parallelogram is calculated by the formula base into height, or simply it is written as B into H. Now here we know students that height is nothing but the shortest or perpendicular distance of the figure. Okay, so from here if you will drop one perpendicular students, then this is known as height. This is perpendicular. Okay, so this one will be your base and this one will be your height. So when you will multiply the length of height into base, then you will get the perimeter of that parallelogram. Now in different cases the orientation of the figure may be changed, but you have your formula will be same and measurement value will be different. Just you have to keep it in the formula, you have to put the value in the formula and do the calculation and find out the area. Okay, somewhere you will get the area. Suppose here is the base. Okay, so if this is base, then here we will drop the perpendicular, so this one will be the height. सो द ओरिएंटेशन ऑफ द फिगर, ये फिगर को हम उलट पलट सकते हैं, घुमा सकते हैं, मोड़ सकते हैं, ठीक है. सो यू हैव टू बेसिकली कीप इट इन योर माइंड दैट एरिया ऑफ द पैरेललोग्राम इज नथिंग बट बेस इनटू हाइट एंड हाइट इज नथिंग बट परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस. ओके, नाउ आवर नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज area of triangle students. Okay, now we know that this triangle, the figure of triangle is like this. Figure is a triangle is a polygon having three sides. So suppose this is a acute type of triangle where all its angles are less than 90 degree. ठीक है, तो we know that area of this triangle is given by the formula half into base into height. Okay, so this half somewhere written as half into b into h also. You need not to get confused. Here b is nothing but base, h is nothing but height. Okay, so here we know students, here we are having different method of drawing the height. Okay, suppose this is the base of the triangle. Okay, so height will be drawn from here, that is perpendicular. Suppose this is base, then height will be drawn from here, this is the perpendicular. Okay, suppose this is the base. Okay, so height will be drawn from here, this is the perpendicular. Okay, so whatever base value is given, put it here, whatever height value is given, put it here, and calculate the area of triangle by using this formula half into base into height. Okay, this was about your triangle. Now moving to next topic students, this is almost second last or last topic only students. What is that? Circle. Okay, so now we will learn about circle. We know students, this is the figure of circle and somewhere here we are having center which is denoted by O, or you can say C. Different where different letters are used for denoting it, so we need not to worry about it. Okay, so this is the center. Okay, now what I told you perimeter about those finding out, when we were finding out the perimeter area, then I told you in case of polygons that perimeter, when we are finding out the perimeter, we are getting the outer border or boundary of that figure. So here in case of circle, what happens, that perimeter is known as circumference. So this is the circumference of circle students. This is the circumference. This outer boundary of the circle is known as circumference. This is circumference of the circle students. This is called as circumference. Okay, now whenever we are dropping any line from center on the circumference of the circle, then we are calling it as radius. So this is known as radius. Suppose this is point A. Whenever any line is passing through the center of the circle, then this is known as diameter students. Diameter. Okay, now we will learn the relation between this diameter and radius. This radius is equal to students, this radius is equal to half of the diameter. Half of the diameter, or you can say that diameter is equal to twice the radius. ये डायमीटर जो होता है वो रेडियस का दुगना होता है, और रेडियस जो होता है वो डायमीटर के आधा होता है. ठीक है. And here some more different topics are there students. If suppose it is one line is drawn and it is touching the 2 point at 2 different point on the circumference of the circle, then this is known as chord. Okay, this portion enclosed by this chord is known as segment. Okay, this portion enclosed by 2 radii, the plural of radius is radii, R-A-D-I-I, radii. Okay, so the portion enclosed by 2 radii students, so this is known as sector. Okay, so different topics are there that you need to know about it. And here, as I told you, that circumference is nothing but perimeter of the circle. So when we have to find out the circumference of any circle, then we are having the formula 2 into pi into r. 2 into pi into r. Here, what is pi students? Pi is a constant calculated value. In fractional form it is 22/7 and in decimal form it is 3.14. You need not to know about pi more, just you need to know that it is a calculated value, and wherever this circumference you need to find out of any circle, you have to use that pi and its value. That's all. And what is r there? R is nothing but radius of the circle. So whenever you need to find out the circumference of any circle whose radius is given, then put the value of pi as 22/7, or if specifically mentioned in the question to use 22/7 or 3.14, then you have to use that specified value only. Okay? And then you have to put the value of r and do the calculation. You will get the circumference or perimeter of that circle. Similarly, if we have to calculate the area of the circle, then we are having the formula pi into r square. R square means r into r, means suppose the value of r is 5 centimeter, then 5 multiplied 2 times, 5 into 5, 25, and whatever value of pi that I have already explained you, it is a constant whose value in fractional form is 22/7 and in decimal form it is 3.14. Okay, so like this we are calculating the formula circumference and area of the circle students. Here you need to keep these things also in your mind students. Okay, somewhere it will be used. So this was about your circles. Now here we are having some of the unit conversions students, that is 1 centimeter is equal to 100 millimeter square. 1 centimeter square is equal to 100 millimeter. Okay, millimeter square. And 1 meter square is equal to 10,000 centimeter square. 1 meter square is equal to 10,000 centimeter square. These are the conversions that you have to keep it in your mind students, because in some of the particular numericals you will need to use these. Okay, so apart from this, the things that you have to, the important points that you have to keep it in your mind students while solving the numericals of this exercise is that whenever any value is given in per meter square or per meter square unit, let the unit be centimeter, meter, kilometer, whatever unit is there, whenever any rate is given in per square per unit, ठीक है, then you have to conclude that in that question you have to calculate the area. And whenever any rate is given in only per meter or per unit, then you have to conclude that there you have to calculate the perimeter. Whenever you are finding out the perimeter students, then its unit will be per unit only, sorry, same unit. As suppose here radius is given in centimeter, so its circumference will be in centimeter only, or length and breadth of the rectangle is given in meter, then perimeter calculated will be, the unit of the perimeter will be only meter only. Okay, and suppose whatever value or whatever unit is given of that, suppose here radius is there, so if radius is given in centimeter, so its area will be always calculated in centimeter square. Now suppose length and breadth of the rectangle is given in meter, so area will be calculated always in meter square. What I mean to say, students, that perimeter always calculated in the same unit as the given values are there of length or breadth or radius, whatever side is there. Okay, and whenever we are calculating the area, then it is always calculated in a square unit, whatever unit is there. Okay, so this was the introduction of your this chapter, perimeter and area, students. I hope you might have understood, and thank you for connecting with me.